Are you a business entrepreneur? You have a service business and you want to start with government contracting, but you don't even know where to start. You're like, there is so much information. Where is the start but pace? What's step one? Where do I start? And what do I need to know? Well, this masterclass is that. Now, I want to take this opportunity before you get to the masterclass to clarify a few things and to also increase the opportunity for you to make the most out of the time you're in the masterclass. Is that okay? Awesome. Okay, so I want to break down with you what or how the government works. Now, I'm going to use this term, follow the money, in the masterclass quite often because this is the key to success. Once you understand how to follow the money, you are going to see so many more opportunities that you've never seen before. I'm telling you that you'll finish this video and you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's so many opportunities. You'll go scrolling on your social media and you'll say, oh my gosh, there's so many opportunities. You'll drive your kids through to school and you'll say, oh my gosh, there's so many government contract opportunities for your business. Now, I am telling you that for a fact because when I tell you how to follow the money, when I explain to you in this story how to follow the money, you will be so grateful because it's going to make so much sense. Okay, you ready? All right, great. So imagine you have a friend. He's an older guy, right? He's a seasoned professional and he collects money. That's his job. And his name is Joe. Joe's job is to collect money. Now, in conversations with Joe, anytime you see him, you tell him about this wish list of things that you want to add to your house, expand your house, renovate your house, right? There's all of these wish list projects that you want to get done around your house. And he's like, cool. So then one day Joe calls you and he's like, hey, Melinda, I got a sack of money here full of $100 bills. It's probably like 100 pounds of cash sitting here just for you. I'm going to drop it off for you. Cool. You're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Joe, right? You're like, wait a minute, what's the catch? Okay. And Joe says, well, the catch is that I want you to return the bag empty. There cannot be any money left. And you also need to include your budget of how you spent your money, how you allocated that money towards the projects you told me about. And you're like, awesome, but you can't give it away. Cool, I won't give it away. Perfect, I'm coming by. So he comes by, drops off the bag, and you're like, okay, I need to count this money, right? So you need to count the money. He tells you how much they're estimated there will be, but you need to count it for sure to make sure you know exactly how much there is. You count it. Joe leaves. Cool, you know exactly how much is in the bag, and you have your wish list. Now, by counting it, you already know you can't do everything on your wish list. You're like, there's no way. There's no way. Most things, you already have an estimate as to how much it's going to cost to get the projects done. But there's a few things that you need to hire experts, advisors to give you expertise and tell you what the estimates are going to be because you don't know. You've never bought those services or products before. So you get that done. So that's a budget line items, right? There's a few budget line items. And then you have what's left. Now, you have your wish list and you're like, okay, I know exactly how much this is going to be if I got everything done, which is way more than what Joe gave you. So what you're going to do, just like any budget, is you're going to prioritize the top most important things and then drill down towards the less important things, just in that prioritized order. And you're going to start putting those the most urgent and prioritized items at the top of your budget and work down, totaling so that what you have in the sack of cash is around the amount in your budget. So you probably have to remove things, adjust them, modify, tailor, right? Well, I don't need to get the high-end cabinet. I could probably go down a level, right? I don't necessarily need to go tile. Maybe I can do the laminate floors. And you want to make budget, you might make adjustments so you can get more of the projects done with the money that they gave you, what Joe gave you. But you want to be smart because you don't know how long this is going to take, and your numbers are old numbers. So you just put a little bit of a contingency in the bottom of your budget, just in case, right? Like a just in case, want to make sure. So you've done that. Now you're like excited, you get them done, right? So you reach out to your contractors, right? Your plumber, your electrician, your interior designer, materials, right? So masonry, and you reach out to everybody, and what do? They just give you a new quote, you estimate, and now you have a real number. So you update the budget with the real number, get the project done, sweet. Now towards the end of that 12 months that Joe gave you to spend that money, you realize you have more than enough to get the projects done, but you've already created the budget. Now, what typically happens at this point for the government is they will go towards their set-asides, and they'll look for ways to give to minority-owned businesses or disadvantaged businesses. And sometimes it's like in a form of a bloated project or contract. Totally fine, because there again, the number one priority that Joe stated is that you have to spend every dollar. So you might have heard that like there's a certain set aside. Well, those are specific projects, but then the rest of the money can be used however the state want to use it. So that's how the budget works, or the money works. It flows from Joe, which is, White House, all the way through to a federal level, down to a state level, and down to your local city and county level. And also your districts, and there's other divisions and things like that. That's how it works. Joe has this huge bag of cash, and he's like, how do I dispense this? But you have to keep the rule. You have to spend every dollar. Imagine someone gives you money and they tell you you have 12 months to use this and you cannot give it away, and you have to spend every dime. You can't give me money back. That's how it works. So you think about, what are all the things that the government buys? Now the government, if you think about it, government is like any other business. Okay, so like for a second, let's just change the term government and say it's just a business, right? Business to business. We're just doing business to business. Well, besides their employees need office supplies. Their employees need computers and software and stuff like that. But if as a service business, you're probably thinking, do they buy website design? Do they buy graphics, copywriting? Do they buy strategy? Strategy sessions. Do they buy speaking events? Do they buy professional development, executive leadership? Do they buy sales negotiation? And the answer is yes. Anything you sell to your existing B2B business, the government buys. So if you're like, well, I sell all these services and it's coaching and consulting, yeah. So there's a confirming way to just guarantee that they buy something, and it's called NAICS codes. You can Google this, NAICS, N-A-I-C-S, and look for your NAICS codes. And when you look for your NAICS codes, if you find your NAICS codes, based off, because the NAICS codes are categories by your service. So if you find your NAICS codes, it's guaranteed the government buys your services. There are a few terms that are kind of weird, like they're not going to say copywriting. I think it says document writing, or it's just a different term, but it's there. And you can look at the description. They usually have a description, and it's listed right there on the site. So you can see what services are included in that specific NAICS code. You will have more than one. Typically, 99% of the time, businesses have more than one, because the way that you sell your services right now to your business to business or business to consumer, is packaged differently for that specific audience. For your government, they call them scopes of work, and so they're going to be just defined differently. So what you're looking for is make a list of all the things that you do in your business, that you already do in your business, okay? And then you're just going to look for the transferable NAICS code for those things, okay? And then that way you can prioritize what services you actually want to sell. So instead of thinking, I need to sell something new or different, or I need to sub with somebody selling a different service than me so I can win this contract out the gate. You can do that, but you don't have to do that. Subcontracting is a great opportunity. Priming is a great opportunity. Middleman is a great opportunity. They're all great opportunities, but what I want you to understand is that government contracting is a lot easier than you think. And I hope that my explanation of Joe and Melinda and doing business with us and how we work together and how he gave me specific parameters of how to use that money, that is how the government speaks to all the offices that buy what you sell. He says, I'm giving you this money, spend it in 12 months. Now, it is the end of the fiscal year. The time of this recording is September. So they are just racing to the bottom, trying to use every single dime. And there's other opportunities besides through an RFP. Now, if you've built a relationship with a government client, they can easily pick up the phone and have a conversation with you and say, hey, do you want to do this project? We just pulled this off our wish list and we're adding it to the budget. We have a little bit more money, right? And getting it done, and we need your help. Just like you would for a B2C client or a B2B client, it's just a new opportunity. So hopefully that helps you simplify things and you really understand specifically how it works so that you can go further. Now, that was just a taste of what you're going to get in the masterclass. Bring your questions. In fact, I highly recommend that you upgrade for VIP so you can get an exclusive one-on-one opportunity to ask me questions, get real questions answered so that you can go even further, faster in your business, diversifying your streams of income and making a ton of money, building authority in government and your existing business without having to do anything new. I mean, unless you want to. But wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to split your attention and you could just focus on services, solutions that you currently offer, and you can just create a system. You just embed our system into your business and that's it. You just make 6, 7, 8-figure deals easily, simplified. You know how to build relationships with the government. Make sure you register. You're not going to want to miss this government contracting masterclass. Get a VIP ticket. You're not gonna regret it. It's going to be the worst and best way for you to get unstuck. And I say worst because when you realize what's been holding you back, you're like, man, I should have started sooner. And the best is that we get to start now. So go ahead and click the link, register for the masterclass, upgrade to VIP if you can. If you can't, it's okay. You're going to get a lot of value anyway. And let's take action. I'll see you there.